Glad to have you on this edition of the show. Our tech tip segment is on how to turn your smartphone into remote control. Our mobile app of the week allows you to ask questions to get answers. And finally, we have a cool gift for you on the giveaway segment. This is Tech Trends, and I'm Chukwemeka Agbata.
Life is tough in Mexico's remote hamlets in the mountain of Oaxaca state, and it's made even harder here and in other isolated towns by a lack of telephone and internet connectivity that complicates everything from education to getting help in medical emergencies. In Santa Maria Yaviche, tales abound among the municipality's residents of daily obstacles thrown up by having no phones. The woman who had to walk miles to report that her husband had been shot, the car crash victims who waited hours for assistance, and the woman who gave birth before reaching hospital. In these remote indigenous hills, President Enrique Peña Nieto's telecommunications reform, credited with slashing prices for many Mexicans and boosting competition against billionaire Carlos Slim's company, América Móvil, is coming up short. But some small companies and non-profit groups are not waiting for reform and are taking things into their own hands. In Santa Maria Yaviche, a town which sits above the clouds and is made up of zigzagging red mud roads, non-profit group Rizomatica has set up a community-run phone network.
You see benefits all across the different sort of aspects of life, and the big thing that people say is they simply are just in touch with their family members more. And as you know, in lots of parts of rural Mexico, there's lots of out-migration to other parts of the country, to cities, or also to places in the U.S. So just simply being able to be in touch allows people to stay close with those who have.
Rizomatica helped to get a social concession for the network, a new figure under the Telecom's reform which permits the use of small amounts of spectrum for free. It rents an existing Wi-Fi network to bring signal from Oaxaca City, the state capital, into the mountains. Users pay 30 pesos a month for unlimited voice and messaging within the town. For long-distance calling, including to the United States, they pay up to 1 peso per minute.
We can set up the local network, we know how to do that, but we rely on internet for a part of what we do in order to do the long-distance calling. What we find is that to get internet up here is also something that people know how to do, but they struggle to find affordable internet in the city, which they can then send through the different antennas that we've seen to get up here. So the big thing that we think the government can do is to create a better environment and a more open environment so that people can access stable, fast, and affordable fiber optics.
According to global wireless industry body GSMA, almost a third of Mexico's population is estimated to live with no mobile subscription, meaning Latin America's second largest economy has a lower percentage of cell phone users than countries like Argentina, Uruguay, and even Nicaragua. To fill the gap, community leaders have set up a shared mobile phone for local residents using whatever materials they can. In the future, tech giants like Facebook, Alphabet, and Elon Musk's SpaceX use of drones, balloons, or satellites to connect remote corners of the world may benefit Mexico's isolated pueblos. But for now, local residents are making do with their current telecommunications infrastructure with greater use of mobile technology reported. Berlin is looking to profit from the UK's vote to leave the European Union by tempting companies away from London. The city is setting its sights on tech and fintech startups, hoping fears about post-Brexit Britain will make the German capital an attractive place to set up shop. London provides much of the financing for startups, but increasingly Berlin has been luring new companies, offering cheaper living costs along with experienced developers.
The fact is that the Brexit has created uncertainty, and uncertainty is always the enemy of investment. That's why lots of companies think about opening offices in the European Union or even to relocate. And if they do so, I want to make clear that Berlin is the right place to invest.
Between central Berlin and the prosperous Prenzlauer Berg district in the trendy east, a large brick and glass building is home to a factory, a startup campus providing workspace for young companies. Berlin's reputation as a tech city may be growing, but is still small compared to London. According to Ernst & Young, the German capital's fintech workforce numbered around 13,000 in 2015, a fifth of the size of the UK sector, which employed 61,000 people. The city is now stepping up its campaign to place itself as a tech center of choice for companies choosing to locate themselves inside the European Union. Public-private enterprise Berlin Partner, which provides advice on transitioning to the German capital, has recently opened up an office in London. It has been actively targeting companies in London's Silicon Roundabout in East London, the UK's answer to California's Silicon Valley. It wants to capitalize on worries some London-based companies have about a possible hard Brexit, meaning losing access to Europe's single market and no more free movement of people. Cultural events are planned in London to show off possibilities Berlin has to offer.
Knowledge and tolerance. People are very open-minded, and they create. When you want to do a new business, you need creativity, you need the spirit, you need an energy of a city.
Since the June referendum, Berlin Partner has received some 40 concrete inquiries, mainly from startups founded 3 to 5 years ago in the fintech and IT sectors.
What happens in the future? It's this uncertainty that makes us leave. Plus, we learned that the culture in Berlin is a very good fit for our company, and also politics and partners are very excited to work with us, so it's a very good ecosystem for us.
Swiss Bank was co-founded in London, so it's a UK entity, but that's changing in favor of having a major global center in Berlin. The experience of some London-based companies shows that behind the slick German advertising campaigns lurks bureaucracy that businesses must battle to set up here. Web design company MBJ London says it took them around 2 months to set up in Berlin, compared with some 3 days in London. But at Factory, the talk is confident and bold about Berlin's future in rivaling London.
The prevailing feeling here in Berlin is that London has more or less taken itself out of the race. We've had a bit of a competition with London in terms of who's the number one digital hub here in Europe for a number of years. And we've always been happy about this competition because obviously it's good for business. But now here the prevailing feeling is really that with the Brexit, London is going to fade in its importance as a digital standpoint in Europe.
Berlin Partner plan to open a pop-up shop in London in November, further driving their push to sell startup life in Berlin.